Hey everyone, this is episode 468 of the OotiniCast, being recorded on June 28th of 2023. We're going to go ahead and tweet out that we're going here, and yeah, this is the raw version of the show, which goes out live, and this video will also end up going on YouTube, although we don't do it live on YouTube, we do it on Twitch. And then we will take the audio, clean it up if necessary, and put that out as a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whoop, whoop. All right. Yeah, 468. That's quite a few of them.
468.
Okay.
Please, I know.
TV, OotiniCast. There we go. We've tweeted it out.
All right. And refresh.
Let's see.
I can give it a tweet.
Hey, okay. How's it going?
Yep.
Okay. And let's see. I'm ready. Have you got your Audacity rolling, I believe?
Ready to go. Double checking it. Yep.
Good.
I don't trust it anymore.
Here we go. Going in 5. Hi, and welcome to the OotiniCast. He's stalling so we can escape. This is episode 468, being recorded on Wednesday, June 28th, 2023. I'm your host, Chill. With me is my co-host, KittyKissz. Hey, Kitty.
Hey, Chill.
Yeah, I did a Last Jedi sort of moving, I went for a moving reference because of the whole Broadsword thing going on. But yeah, so what you been up to since the last show?
Well, as I had spoke about before, we were working on a room in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
That room is now done for now.
Nice.
However, we are now in a different room, working on a different room so that we can have someone move in there. And the last person that lived there, apparently, and he'd been there for several years, never cleaned the windowsill.
Oh.
And
yikes.
It is covered in black mold.
Oh, no.
And
that's worse than just dust.
Oh, man. We've been dealing with that and cleaning it. Luckily, we have some pretty heavy-duty cleaning supplies. Like, we have full masks and goggles and all that kind of shit. But, yeah, we had to spray it all down, and now we're in the it's just a big pain in the butt.
Right.
It's been stressing me out. But
and are you still planning on renting one or both of those rooms out, the basement or this other room?
Yeah, both those rooms are going to be rented out.
Nice.
So that Kitty and I will have the entire top floor to ourselves, which is going to be great.
Right.
We can chase each other around naked and we won't bug anybody, you know.
And then just like the kitchen on the main room, and that'll be sort of like common area more or
yeah,
less.
Yeah. And it's pretty crazy. Like, I never see the roommates. I see Kitty all the time, but they all work full time, and have lives. So, you never really see them.
That's nice though.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And, it is what it is. But man, I'm telling you, that black mold sucks.
Yeah.
It's stained all the wood. It's
it goes
it's
deep
a mess
sometimes too, and it sounds like it probably would have.
It did. But anyway, so dealing with that. So out of the frying pan into the fire. Hopefully that'll be done soon, and we can get to having all the upstairs for ourselves, which I'm really excited for.
Will both the cats then be upstairs?
Yes, that's going to be a big thing. Because
yes, it will.
It'll be great because Princess Moo sleeps downstairs in the office because Nexu is a obsessive bastard
stalker
and won't leave Princess Moo alone.
Yes.
So Kitty wants to have her kitty cat close. So it'll be nice to have the cat up here, which is going to be great. But
cross fingers that it gets better because
I hope so. I hope he calms down when he gets older. He's just so intense. Like he won't even let her go poopies without like staring at her.
Hi.
So yeah, I hope he calms down. But they're both great.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it was just kind of funny that I was putting up a smoke detector downstairs, and I'm like, "Yay, it's over!" And then come upstairs and like, "Oh my god!" So, yeah. Anyway, we'll get there. But we were just kind of planning on, oh yeah, we'll just be able to paint, and everything will be good. Nope, it's always one more thing. Always one more thing. Anyway, after, let's see, the reset was yesterday.
Sure.
I got Galactic Season 3's done.
Nice.
I finished the Moon Reputation for it.
Wow.
Which was really, I hadn't done that on any of the previous seasons.
Huh.
So I was very proud of myself. I was like, yes.
Was there a reason you wanted to get it? I mean, other than just to see the bar finish? Or I guess you get a title, right? There's a title.
You do get a title, but I think you unlock a different skin for your companion, unless I'm mistaken. Probably mistaken, but I was like, I just wanted to do it because the last couple ones I went, nah, I'm not going to do it. And then the last minute I'm like, I'm going to do it. And then didn't have time. So, yeah, but got it and already missing it. Like, I can't wait till it starts again. I love Galactic Seasons. It's super fun.
Well, if you're close on one of the other ones, then what you could do is just for a while have those companions out and get the drops that you need. And then also there are reputation boosts in the game. So whenever you go get the extra the extra rep items, then when you pop them, you'll get a nice extra bit on them. So, but I guess if you're not wanting to, you're not wanting to.
I'm just like, I didn't get it done when I was supposed to, so I'm like.
So now it's like, screw it.
Exactly.
I'm
like, what's the shiny thing? I need the shiny thing. I don't want the not shiny thing. I'll wait for the next shiny thing. Lastly, I dug up an old tune on Starforge and started PvPing over there. And it's a low-level tune. And what happened is that I made a tune for Satil Shan and was going to PvP her way up the leveling.
Right.
And just there was no pops. It was an hour and no pop.
Right.
So I went, I wonder if that's the way it is over on Starforge. So I popped over there, grabbed an old tune, queued up, and boom.
Wow.
Was immediately in PvP. And
nice.
So I think I'm gonna PvP on Starforge for a while.
Okay.
Kind of break it up from story and playing.
That works.
And then go over there and do some PvP. So
no reason.
But it was really fun. And I made a guardian or a juggernaut to PvP on because I thought I wouldn't like playing PvP as Sentinel. Mm-hmm. But the character over on Starforge is Sentinel, and I'm like, I'm loving it. It's really fun. But that low-level PvP is really, really, really fun. I'm no boosts, no XP boosts, none of that crap, because I want to make it last as long as possible before you go into that end game PvP and get my butt kicked.
You can't smurf like you could in old World of Warcraft, where you can lock down your XP and just stay at the exact perfect level for it forever. Yeah,
that's what
I actually prefer this way. Like, for me, it's like it's much nicer to be able to just have sort of a semi-random group where it's it's not just a bunch of smurfs who are like whatever the maximum level is before the next tier.
Right. But that's about it for me, Chill. What's going on with you?
All right. So let's see. So who's come over here so far? We have 01 Ella, Lisa Dre, Bantha Mojito, Drop Snat, IK, Akata, Kidley, and Squishy Twitchy are all here. Hi, everyone. And let's see. So for years, and especially for the last few months, very regularly, I've been looking for a Gamorrean axe. They are very hard to find on the GTN. I finally got one. I finally got one. Yes, I kept looking, and I finally found someone who was who's selling theirs.
How much did you pay for it?
It was like 650 million credits.
worth it.
Yeah, it would have been, if it was $1 billion, I still would have bought it. When I saw it, it was on the GTN, because like it's never on the GTN. But when I finally typed in GAMM and it was there, it was like, ooh! And of course I was on a character that didn't have anywhere near the right number of credits, so I jumped to another my banking alt. Right. But my banking alt didn't have enough credits, nor did my bank. My bank didn't have it, nor did my banking character. So I jumped to my other character, who is like the crafting and selling person. I figured, okay, he's got to have enough credits. And fortunately he did. And it was still up. And I grabbed it. And it was like, okay. Finally. So I have the Gamorrean axe.
Logging in and out as fast as possible. Come on.
It's a sad, sad story, because like years ago, I started doing the cosplay thing semi early on, but not like right away. It was like Shadow of Revan era or something like that, or maybe Kotfi. When I started doing like cosplay characters. Before that, I was just doing your random, role-playing characters, just like whatever grabbed my fancy. So they tended to be. I didn't really have a need of an axe, and I had an axe. But because I was alting even back then with tons of characters, I never had any credits. I was always sucking credits. I had no credits ever. And finally I was like, okay, well, I had another character that I wanted to make, and blah, 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 blah. And then I think this was maybe right when I was kind of starting to cosplay or whatever. And I had something expensive that I needed, and blah, blah, blah. And I sold the axe. And I sold it for what it seemed like a lot. And it was a lot at the time. It was like 5 million credits. At the time, that was that kept me flush for like months. Right. That was like, I was living in hog heaven. But then, of course, I got more and more into the cosplay characters, and having a Gamorrean axe is very nice because it is simply an axe. It's not, there's nothing really fancy about it.
Nothing.
It looks exactly what an axe should look like. And there were several characters that I was thinking of doing them on, like, like I did a Jason character, an axe would have been good on him. There's other like horror characters, but other just characters in general who have used axes. And it's like, but I could never find I never found another one. Never found another Gamorrean axe. I think I could be wrong. It's possible, from what I've heard, like they don't show up in like the Ultimate Pack. Like,
it's possible.
It's possible. There's a few things that don't show up in the Ultimate Pack, and I think that's one of them. Mm-hmm. And because of that, they just don't show up on the GTN at all. Like they're super rare. So as soon as I got it, I dropped Jinx. I was like doing Jinx characters. Like, you know what? I've done another Jinx before. This was like my second Jinx. It's like which was a little more accurate because, I could switch the class story with the, weapon to make it more accurate. So whatever. I dropped her like a hot potato. Made a character using the Gamorrean axe immédiatement, right away, straight away. Right. And so I did an Olaf character from like League of Legends, there's not a ton of lore around him, but he's your basic, Viking. He's a Viking. He has got a beard. He has tons of muscles. He shows off the muscles, and he wields dual axes. And then I made him a Marauder, because he also has like one ability that has sort of a lightning effect. So he's more Maraudery than he was Sentinel-y. So I decided to go for that. And I didn't swap up the story either, because it's like, you know what, Warrior really feels like the best story for him as well. So I didn't mix it up this time. Even though I love to do that now. But yeah, I made him a Warrior, made him a Marauder, and he's just it's the middle tree, and I can never remember what they call it nowadays. But anyway. It's not the smash spec, and it's not the dot spec. It's the one with the direct damage, and it has the one ability that costs 1 rage, and you get 100% armor pen for a couple of other abilities.
Right.
It's that one, and it's so good for him because the Berserk on that spec gives you like 30% alacrity. So you just go with your axes. It's just axe. It's so great. And in fact, for the first time, like. I always, I do a little bit of accuracy, and then I just do crit when I'm leveling. I never bother with alacrity. because like it's kind of a pain in the ass, because if you're doing it properly you need to get to 0.1 of the global, and who the hell knows what that is at level 43 or whatever.
Right.
But I decided, you know what, we're going to go with just as much alacrity as we can stack on there. So I have a little bit of accuracy so we can PvP, because you need a little bit to make sure you're doing okay in PvP.
Right.
And then after that, it's all alacrity, no crit. So alacrity earpiece, alacrity implants, alacrity enhancements. It is so much fun, actually. It's a lot of fun. Now I'm sucking rage because I'm doing all these abilities, but I don't have the rage to use them all the time. So that part has been a problem. Although I just dinged 64, and at level 64, you can choose this thing where if you have your Cloak of Pain up, when you take damage up to once per second, you'll gain a rage whenever you take damage. And Cloak of Rage can last up to 30 seconds because it gets extended when you do take damage. Right. So it's really helped with the rage issues. I'm not constantly filling with the spam ability, you know. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really happy with them. I don't know how accurate he really looks to the one in League, but I'm really happy with how he does look. I have a shot of him in the show notes.
He looks like a Viking.
Yeah, it's one of the, I forget the name of the outfit. Like the chest piece is like it's like a hunter, some sort of able hunter, something like that. And then the belt is also from that. But instead of the leggings, I actually have like the men's trunks, so it shows his leg muscles off, because Olaf does that in League of Legends too. It's like, even though he's a Viking, he's like, you know, he wears nothing on his legs. Basically. Right,
it does look like a merkin.
Yeah, it's basically just a loincloth. It's a fur loincloth at that point.
Exactly.
And then I actually bought the boots separately. It's from a gold set, and I cannot remember the name of that one.
I know which one it is. It's one of the cold weather outfits.
Yeah, it is, because it has the fur lining just like Olaf's boots do in the game.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, I really didn't want to spend the 1 billion credits that this gold set was going for. So someone was selling the boots separately for like 90 million or 100 million credits, which is a lot. But you know what? I figured, okay, fine. We'll just buy it, and it's good enough. You know, like whatever. I'll get the set at some point.
Ask me. Just call me, text me, and be like, do you have this outfit? Because I have so many outfits that are just sitting around. I'd love
I could check, because and I wouldn't mind having it, because that's the rest of the outfit is kind of cool too. I'm really happy with his look though. I gave him some like brace, and he wears no gloves, but he has bracers that I tried to make look as much like sort of iron defensive bracers as possible. The ones around the bicep are just part of the chest piece, but really happy with how he looks. And I used a color crystal in it that's as dark as possible, because the effects, the axe does not glow in any way. However, when you're using your abilities, the abilities have glow effects, and the glow effects are kind of based on it being a lightsaber. So a lot of times, even though you're swinging an axe, there's this weird angle of light coming off of it. That's where the lightsaber would be. Right. But on the axe, it looks a little weird. So I chose like the darkest color crystal I could find, which is like the black purple striated. And it helps. And it actually looks pretty good that way, because most of the time you don't see the lightsaber effect, and it just kind of adds a little bit of flair to the things that he's doing. Plus, of course, like most of the Marauder abilities make him glow like a mofo anyway, because he's either in Berserk or predating, or if you get your 5 stacks of, I think it's the 5 stacks of quickness, because I'm using that as well, so you move faster. I'm really happy with him though. He's actually a ball to play.
I'm gonna have to try that build out.
Yeah,
because I just recently
it's really fun.
Went and replayed Watchmen, but I usually play Concentration, so I'm gonna have to check that out. That sounds fun.
It's so fun to play. You will, until 64, you're definitely going to be using that fill ability a lot, but other than that, it's great, and I'm looking forward to it, because there's even a few things later on that will even increase the amount of rage that I get a little bit better. Not not a ton of them, unfortunately. I'm kind of like near where I'm gonna be, but you know, and then it'll be the tactical at 75. I'm looking forward to seeing how all those are gonna work and stuff like that. And regardless of how accurate or not accurate he is to the character I based him on, I'm really happy with how he looks anyway. Like he really looks cool.
Yeah, he looks cool. I like it.
So yeah, I'm having a ball. And yeah.
Funny thing about the axes, those were one of the first things I ever bought and unlocked.
Smart.
Because of a cosplay character that I made.
There you go.
And he was Evil Lincoln.
Because of the rail splitting thing. That's funny.
And I can't figure out which hat I had, but he kind of had a stovetop hat.
I would love that.
I can't remember which one.
If you could figure it out, or do you still have the character? Or did you delete him?
No, he's long gone.
Oh,
I don't remember what happened to him.
If you can figure out if you can figure that out, I'd love that, because there's been a couple of characters that I've tried and they just don't work without like the tall hat that they wear, because there's a few people like that, that I would like to do. So that's funny. Anyway, I'm really happy with them. Body size 3, of course, doing the giant Viking look, and yeah, lots of fun. All right, so move on to the tip of the week. We did get one from DL Smoothwolf. He says, "Hey, fellow Ootinians, DL here wanted to know how everyone's Father's Day was. Mine was fine, very quiet, but I'm totally fine. My tip of the week is, when you're fighting a difficult class quest boss, always make sure that you have plenty of med packs, set your companion to heal, and remember what your interrupt key is, or else you'll be engaging that boss for a while." And that's basic information, but that counts for me. I'll go with it.
I noticed today PvP that there's a lot of people that didn't interrupt.
Yeah, do not know how to interrupt or whatever.
Interrupt it. Come on. Hands on cooldown again.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's what I do is whatever character I'm on, my interrupt key is always the same keybind.
Me too.
It's shift middle mouse button for everyone. That just works for me.
Same with my heals and my oh crap button.
Yeah, exactly. I have right, exactly. So some are certain other buttons, or they have the same style. So I have the CC breaker's always on the same button. The interrupt's always on the same button.
Me too.
And then these two buttons are always the short term defensive cooldowns. This button is always anything that has a slow. This is my hard CC. This is my this is my AOE. Ground base ability, stuff like that. Yeah, all that good stuff. Yeah. Jumps are always on on control 1 for me on every character, stuff like that. Yeah. I did one too as well, just because I had issues the other time. Like the last time, not in 7 B or C, but when 7.3 came out, I had a mount code that I put in, and I put it in while the game client was updating. I thought that was early enough. I figured, okay, well, the game's going to check it when it's done updating, and then when I get into the game, it'll be there. Well, it wasn't there, and I didn't want to restart the client because it took so long, and just in case it wanted to try to redo some stuff, I decided, okay, let's just play the game. But anyway, once I did eventually close the client and brought it back up, it did. So yeah, even if you're putting in a code for something that's going to show up in the mail, don't have the client open at all. Even if it's just updating, it checks something very early, apparently. So anyway, so that's my tip. Anyway, so if you have a tip, send it to OotiniCast@gmail.com before the next show, and you have a chance to win a Tonfon or M83R droid code or an M2B9 droid code, plus a 450 CC code. All these courtesy, well, I guess I said a BioWare, but now I guess I should start saying Broadsword. They didn't, to be fair, we'll talk about that in the news. But anyway, so DL will get both of those, and if you would like the same, send those tips in. OotiniCast@gmail.com works best, but I'm pretty easy. I'm a pretty casual guy, so if you send it to our Twitter account or something like that, we will usually catch that and sort of stuff as well.
His name is Chill for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
Seriously.
It was kind of accidental, but it really does work.
It really does.
If you've heard if you've heard the whole story, how I got the name. But anyway, that brings us to the Mind Trap. And so what we decided to talk about was, what do you think of the Shrine of Silence flashpoint on Voss? We talked a lot about the storylines and stuff like that, but we only kind of barely touched on the flashpoint. So what do we think of the Shrine of Silence Flashpoint on Voss with its bosses, puzzles, and so on, as compared to earlier SWTOR Flashpoints. So better, about the same, not as good, or haven't done it yet. We had a pretty good amount of votes, so thank you everyone for voting and also for retweeting. And what was your vote, Kitty?
Better. I really like the puzzles.
Right.
This Flashpoint kind of felt like a little short, small operation, which I really, really, really liked.
Right. I could see that, especially with the little puzzle and stuff like that, and like the bonus boss.
Yeah, the bonus boss.
That was really
cool. The reticles were different than past Flashpoints. I enjoyed it a lot.
Right. I also said better for basically the same reasons. It's kind of funny. It took me so long to get past the light puzzle, and then I had the buff on me, and then I got the bonus boss done. The second time I did it, it actually took longer to do the puzzle because I kind of thought I knew what was going on, but it turns out I was doing something. How I thought it worked was not actually everything how it was working, because I was like, and then worst of all, I didn't realize, I forgot about the little buff over your head, the little extra light buff that you'd take to get the bonus boss. And I realized, oh crap, I'm at the bonus boss finally, but I don't have the light. So I ran all the way back, and you can't do it that way.
Oh, you can't.
If you run all the way back, there's no way to get that buff. So you have to do it at the time. Don't like leave. Yeah, don't leave that room without getting the buff, so you can get the bonus boss. So there's another tip of the week for it if you want that. But yeah, I thought it was better too. Interestingly, the answer that won was haven't done it yet at 45.8% of the vote. Interesting, yeah, especially since our audience tends to skew a little more towards people who've been in the game for quite a while and stuff like that. So I was kind of surprised that that they hadn't done the Flashpoint yet.
I wonder if people haven't done it because they think that they have to play through the entire storyline in order to do it. That's not the case with this Flashpoint.
Right.
You can load in, and if you're level up enough, you're clear to go in.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. And from what I understand, they said that they are going to be doing it that way from here on out.
For Flashpoint, you mean?
Yeah, for Flashpoints, they're going to be making them so that you don't have to go through all the story to do it.
Which is good, because there's a lot of story you have to get through to get to the boss bit. You can't skip ahead. You can't skip ahead. You can't skip ahead anymore. The furthest you can skip ahead is still Osis.
I know. Do you remember when that happened, though? How stoked you were?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
I can skip the chapter, which you can, skipping the chapters is a lot of skipping, plus IOCAF. But yeah, oh my gosh, it's Osis, then it's the 3 parts of, anyway, yeah, let's not go through all that. Anyway, of the people who, haven't done yet, 45.8% of the vote. However, people seem to like it who had done it. Better won out of the people who had done it. 29.5% of the overall vote was better, with 15.1% about the same, and only 9.6% not as good. So really pretty sharp skew towards people liking the Flashpoint, or at least feeling it was reasonably about the same, which is cool. Let's see. I'm so happy for the support droid. It surprisingly felt like doing older Flashpoints like Mandalorian Raiders or Aethys. This is from Ashia Satur. Vanilla to Revan Flashpoints, which didn't try to waste my time with hordes of useless mobs, so I really enjoyed it. This is what Flashpoint should look like. By the way, I really like the look of the Flashpoint as well. Like, not only did I like the general Voss feel, which is sort of like half Voss and like half a lot of tunnels and stuff like that, which was all cool. I really appreciated that one spot about halfway through, is after the lighting puzzle, where you can kind of see where there's going to be a boss battle later on, but you can't get there right away. Yeah, there's this huge cavern, and way over there is like this platform that's clearly like something bad's going to happen there, and you can't wait to get there, but you until then it's just off in the distance. Very cool. Very, very cool. I loved that.
Another thing that kind of made it remind me of Operations are all the bridge bosses. They're all over the place, and I'm just like, whoa.
Yes.
It makes you focus
in
a part where you normally wouldn't focus.
Yeah, and they're usually pretty nice about not having a bunch of knockbacks and narrow places, but still, it's like, it's easy to like, you don't want to accidentally just kind of run past them and then actually run off the side or whatever. Yeah. So Teresa said, love that you can easily have a friend join you no matter what mode you are or where you are at in the story.
Big.
Yep. Let's see. And Rebel Jedi said, I felt oddly happy to have the old support droid back when running it solo. The puzzle was fun, even though I gave up and went to a guide, then felt silly for not getting it figured out. The nasty boss knocked out my act companion, but it paid for its crime, which is nice. So yeah, a lot of people seem to enjoy that. And I like how you have a choice on whether to do the bonus bosses. He says all the bonus bosses. I assume that means also those little side room things, which are they're not bosses, but they're like champions. And I always did those. I did those both times because that's you don't need the special light for that one. And they do tend to drop a lot of decos and stuff like that. I think on one of them, I got a pet on one, and then I ended up getting like 2 or maybe 3 decos from those 4 fights, those 2 bosses times 2, because I did it on 2 characters.
I didn't get anything.
Lots of. Oh wow. Okay. Well, maybe I was lucky, but anyway, I was getting a lot of Voss drops, and
I did it in veteran mode too. Maybe it's story mode, you get more decos.
And I did put up the fireball in I did a little Twitter thing about this. I put up the fireball, the Voss fireball in my stronghold, and I love it. It's like one of my favorite decos
it's
now.
Cool.
Not only is it's a nice size. It's not huge, but it's like maybe waist height, and more than waist height. It's more like chest height. And it has a nice fire in the middle. But best of all, it has like a sound, like an ambient sound. So if you're close to it, it sounds. It does. It sounds like a fireplace. It has a fireplace crackle noise. It's great. It's actually very calming, and I actually put it right. So I have it right in my main stronghold where I do all my everything. The GTN and my mail and my storage and everything's there. And now I have this nice little crackly fire in the background every time I go. It's awesome.
I like the picture that you took of that fire. Your character is armored from head to toe. And I always, whenever I see fire like that, I think about, warming your hands and enjoying it. And that character is just like,
yeah, that's my Deadpool character. I happen to do that on because he's also my arms tech. So I'm on him sometimes. Okay. So actually, I didn't do it after the, before the mine trap. So let's go ahead and do a jetpack code. So we're doing a couple jetpack codes today. So someone who's watching today will get, when we're doing this live, we'll get a code for the jetpack mount.
Okay, I already rolled.
Okay.
So here we go. The winner is...
Drum roll, please. Kidley. All right. Congratulations, Kidley. Let me get the code up for him, and I can whisper it to him. Kidley's been around a long time. Good guy. Oh, he says he's pass. Okay, so can you do it to another person?
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Okay.
Here we go. Bantha Mojito.
Oh, Bantha. All right. We like Bantha, too. So
I'll put it in chats if you want.
Right. Woo, woo.
Yay!
He's like, yay. All right.
Congrats.
I just whispered it to him. We're all good. And I've got it on the, I've updated the prize code list. Excellent. Congratulations. It really is a fun jetpack. Not that I've seen it much on Olaf, because he only uses creature mounts, because he's a Viking, but it's a really nice jetpack. And I like its kind of rumbly sound. And I also like how it matches whatever color crystal you're using on your main hand weapon, cool. Including whatever is on your, on your actual outfit. Whatever's showing will also be the exhaust color, which is really cool. Also, on body type 4 males, it doesn't look very big. Oh, okay, which cool. It's kind of been
something that I would have liked to see, like a smaller jetpack.
Yeah,
but
a lot of the jetpacks are
huge.
Yeah, it's always why I was such a big fan of the HK one that we got as a sub benefit like ages ago. And I'm pretty sure it's one of the, no, I'm certain it's one of the ones you can get with Galactic Season tokens.
Yes, you
if
can
you go to that vendor. It's not always going to be available because they keep rotating between stuff. But if you keep your eye out, get the HK jetpack. It's a really nice one. All right, so there we go. Moving on, we do have a Cantina Talk segment this time. This is a segment, an occasional one, where we pick out a voice actor from the literally hundreds who have voiced for SWTOR over the years. And I'm not going to go over the list because it's now too long of who we've done in the past. But this time we're going to do Julian Sands. And this is a kind of a special Cantina Talk because Julian Sands just died. He disappeared while hiking in California in January. It sort of made the news. If you heard something about someone who was kind of famous who kind of disappeared while hiking in January, that was Julian Sands. And his remains were found and confirmed just yesterday. So R.I.P. to Julian Sands. And also thanks to Alec Gislin at this moment, just because his tweet sort of alerted me to what was going on here. But yeah, Julian Sands had a great acting career. His wiki puts it well. He's best known for his breakout role as George Emerson in A Room with a View, which, for people our age, it's like one of those movies that a lot of people know. It's like a drawing room type movie. It's not like, it's not very nerdy, but it's like a well-respected movie. A lot of people know about it. Other notable films he has appeared in include The Killing Fields, which is a heart-wrenching movie. Warlock, where he played the Warlock, the title role, and Warlock 2, by the way. Arachnophobia, Naked Lunch, Boxing Helena, Leaving Las Vegas, The Medallion, Ocean's 13, and The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. And he's done a bunch of other stuff too. This is just that's just sort of the highlights. He really didn't do a ton of voice work, and even less voice work for video games. So we're kind of lucky to have him as Grand Moff Regis, and a few other things: Lord Rivas, Officer Keeling, and Yuden Thul. But the other three are all pretty standard, like mission givers. Grand Moff Regis is certainly his biggest role, and he's the main person your Imperial character will converse with all throughout the Ilum storyline, Operation Dark Ice. So, Regis is the Moff who's tasked with getting enough Adegan crystals off of Ilum to create the Invisible Armada. And then he argues with Malgus about whether aliens should be recruited into the Empire. He gets double-crossed by Malgus, who then gets the Invisible Armada himself and sets up a separate empire. That's Grand Moff Regis, and he was voiced by Julian Sands. So thank you, Julian Sands, and sorry to his family and loved ones. Sure. So so I don't think anything more needs to be said. Unfortunately, he did not ever come back for any of the expansions. He just did the original one. And Regis was his main role. And this is the sort of question where I would love to have a behind the scenes, because he's a pretty well-known actor, didn't do a ton of voice work, and yet they got him for this. So I'd be curious to see was he a quiet Star Wars fan, or maybe some of his family was, or did he know someone who was doing the voice acting recruiting? Was he in tight with someone who was doing the voice acting especially for the British actors, because you need a lot of British actors to do all the Empire voices. Anyway, I'd be interested to know how that happened. Right? Yeah.
I didn't even know it was him. In fact, I recently, I heard that he disappeared, but I just recently heard he
I didn't realize he was in SWTOR either at the time. So that's why I had to. That's why I was like, whoa, okay. Regis. Wow.
Rest in peace, Mr. Sands.
Yeah, so there we go. That'll bring us to the holofeed then. The Broadsword move has been confirmed. Studio update Star Wars The Old Republic. And it was written again by Keith, who's also been doing some things on the forums, as we talked about last time. Last time, they didn't confirm it, but holy cow, was it pretty obvious that it certainly seemed to be a thing. It would have been shocking if it wasn't going through. Well,
know, right? April
based
Fools!
on, based on what had happened even up to then. Well, since then, now we have had it confirmed. So, and Keith does say, I've been a part of SWTOR since well before launch, and it's been an incredible journey. I ended up taking many different roles on the team over that time, so I've seen this game from just about every different angle there is, and I absolutely love the game, not to mention the people who continue to make it fun. Even after almost 12 years, I see so much room for growth and so much potential in SWTOR. I know decisions that impact our people are the hardest part of change and evolution, but I believe Broadsword is the right studio to continue to enhance and modernize our game and also expand the number of people who play it. Of course, I'm also glad that I'll be moving over with key team leaders and continuing to work with most of our current team. And that does seem to be the case, too. We'll talk about that in a minute. The team has never stopped excelling, even proudly delivering an amazing update 7.2 Showdown on Runic over the holiday break, along with technological improvements like our new fast launcher, 64-bit client, and the cloud game servers. I can't thank them enough for their passion and dedication in bringing these experiences to life for our players. I also want to thank EA and BioWare for all they've done for me and the team, not to mention all our friends at Lucasfilm Games, whose support and collaboration have helped make all this happen for us. They're the best, and I look forward to continuing to work with them. We are excited about the future of SWTOR, and once we get our feet firmly planted at Broadsword, we look forward to sharing plans for game direction and improvements. Until then, rest assured that all the current plans are still in motion. As examples, we just delivered our largest story update in months and a new story flashpoint with game update 7.3 Old Wounds, taking us back to the planet Voss, which we hadn't visited since our Kotet expansion back in 2016. We'll also be rolling out Game Update 7.3.1, which will contain our next Galactic season in the coming months. Stay tuned for details on Games Update 7.4, where players will see the story continue following the events of Old Wounds. And there's even more on the horizon. We'll continue to publish communication on SWTOR.com and the SWTOR forums, as we always have, so you'll be hearing from me again soon. No change is easy, but it certainly helps that we're all excited about the future of this very special game. We look forward to seeing that vision become reality alongside all our players and fans. May the Force be with you, Keith Koenig, Executive Producer, Star Wars The Old Republic.
We love you, Keith.
That was awesome. There we go. So, interestingly, BioWare also put up a notice, sort of as an alert, but also sort of a goodbye from Gary McKay. The future is bright for Star Wars The Old Republic. It's been a little while since I've checked in. As you might have heard, there's a lot happening here at BioWare. Almost 12 years after launch, Star Wars The Old Republic remains a fantastic success, continuing to welcome new players to its vast galaxy and entertaining veteran players with its evolving content. It's the longest-running live service Star Wars game ever, and we're enormously proud of the work the team has done in creating, expanding, and maintaining this incredible game. We're delighted to have grown such a dedicated and passionate community through all these years. The future of the game and the community continues to be very bright. I've been working very closely with Keith Koenig, who leads the SWTOR team, to give the game and the team the best opportunity to grow and evolve. And so, while EA will remain SWTOR's publisher, development of the game will move to our partner and friends at Broadsword, a boutique studio with expertise in managing online games. Both the Broadsword studio and SWTOR team members will be joining forces and working tirelessly to support every player every day, ensuring that these worlds and these communities continue to thrive and grow. Their founder and president, Rob Denton, even has direct experience with SWTOR, having helped lead the team during the development and launch of the game during his time at EA, which is pretty cool, by the way.
Yeah, it's really cool.
So what does it mean? Well, most importantly, it means that players will continue to enjoy the SWTOR they know and love, and as Keith mentioned in a recent community post, all current plans are still in place. There are also exciting new features planned that the team is not quite ready to talk about yet, but suffice it to say that players can expect improvements and new content into the future. This is a company that will give SWTOR the room to grow and flourish with the continued commitment and full support of Lucasfilm Games and the continued partnership with EA. No big change comes without challenges. Among them is the fact that most of the current team will be invited to accompany the game on its move to Broadsword, though unfortunately not every role will make the move. This is the hardest part of the transition, and these decisions were not made lightly. We are, of course, doing everything we can to support the defected team members who will have an opportunity to find new roles within EA, which is good. In addition, we're aware that team members who are being asked to move to a new studio will also be adapting to change, and will be working with Broadsword to make the transition as comfortable as possible. In the long run, though, we're confident that this is the best decision for the game and its community. We at BioWare will miss being part of SWTOR's story going forward, but we also know we'll be in very good hands. As we look forward to the future, BioWare is focused on being a leader in developing immersive, emotionally charged single-player games, with teams primarily in Austin and Edmonton. This means a renewed focus on our two key franchises, Dragon Age and Mass Effect. For Dragon Age, we continue to build, polish, and tune an exceptional experience we know our fans will love. We can't wait to share more on this soon. For Mass Effect, we continue pre-production with a core team of veteran storytellers who are bringing the deep franchise history forward in a spectacular new way. I'm excited about the opportunities that lie ahead, and Keith wanted to share his own thoughts about the transition. All right. So obviously, you know, it's one of those things we're going to have to keep. To answer IK's, we don't have to change our subs. We shouldn't really notice anything on our side. Like your characters will all remain the same. The cartel coins will all remain the same. Everything should be. Ideally, you just won't even notice at all when the switch happens. It's kind of funny because that's what I was going to talk about earlier. They never give an official day of the switch. They're not saying as of this day, and it really doesn't matter from our point of view. As long as it happens smoothly, then it really shouldn't matter the exact day that it happens. But it's really not clear when it's happening. The timing is now-ish. Like maybe it's official as of now. We don't know, but
it kind of seems like it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I noticed today when I was going over things again, the official SWTOR forums now say Broadsword when you see a dev post. So it's pretty much right now. Yeah, it's pretty much right now. We don't know. That's not really a confirmation, but it's basically happening now. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm sure there's a handover period, you know, where they have to make sure all the little ins and outs are done. But you know, basically, as long as the game stays live, we shouldn't really notice anything on our end.
Yeah, that's right. We shouldn't. Don't worry about your credit card, anything like that. That's all not going to be touched.
Right.
So don't worry about it. And everything will move forward as it has been in the past.
Yes, and
in that regard.
So Keith Koenig, Jackie Ko, the community manager, and also Musco, the executive producer, are all going to Broadsword. EA and BioWare especially do not talk about employees. Basically, they will not answer any employee questions for safety and security and privacy reasons. Basically, is always the generic reason they give. But basically, they're not going to tell us who is and who is not going. However, some people, you know, have sort of voluntarily talked about it on Twitter and other places. Swotorisa actually put a nice list together of some of the people whose titles, or the titles of people who've gone over. So, executive producer, which is Musco, community manager, which is Jackie Ko. But also lead writer, the narrative director, very important because, you know, if there's going to be new stories, that you need someone to tell the stories. And if they weren't going to add new stories, they wouldn't need the storytellers. So it's good that the lead writer and the narrative director are coming along. Yeah, also, the world designer, systems designer, director of development, monetization art director, systems designer, lead game producer, director of live services, development director, gameplay designer, gameplay design director, and encounter designer have all showed up on, you know, as sort of confirming themselves to be going over. And there's a lot more, but we just don't know who they are or exactly how many. So generally, you know, this is what you want to hear. Like, you know, this is the opposite of, like, it doesn't look like they're sunsetting the game at all, or putting it in, you know, into maintenance mode, as they call it. But so yeah. Obviously, it's something to be concerned with. You know, we're going to have to keep an eye on it to make sure that they are indeed following through with with the things they're talking about. But it seems like things are going in the right direction. So that's good.
Indeed.
And I'm excited. Yeah, and like we said on the last show, there's every possibility that it actually is better because they won't be. You know, they're going to be at a place where MMOs are the main focus, as opposed to the also ran, like, not very excited about. You know. Which frankly they were at BioWare. Like, they were not, you know, at BioWare they were not really given over the last, you know, 10 years, like since shortly after launch, they hardly get any, you know, mentions, money, you know, help from the marketing people, all that stuff. So, you know, and at Broadsword they're going to be like the biggest game now, like, because the other two games are, you know, have been around a long time and they're well known, but they're not big games, and this is going to be their biggest game for sure. I can guarantee you that. All right. Keith did do one other post as well. This is about a week ago. Appreciate your patience as we continue to navigate the shift of the dev team to a third-party studio. Working through the changes right now, so I'll share with you the details I have. With 7.3 now live, our priorities continue to prepare for 7.3.1 and 7.4, along with planning for 2024-2025, with a focus on content and continued modernization initiatives. We also want to address some of the common questions we're seeing. What's changing for players after this shift happens? For all of you, not much is changing at all. Players will continue playing the game and SWTOR.com, and the forums will continue to remain online and a source of players to get news and updates. Support for SWTOR will remain unchanged, and players continue to utilize the EA support page for in-game tools for assistance. And in fact, with EA still remaining the publisher, that seems to be like the one area that sort of EA is going to hang on to, which is like, like player support basically seems to be the one thing that comes up a couple of different times as what EA is actually doing, considering they're still the publisher. So, will the SWTOR development team be moving out of Austin? We are already a remote team with staff working from home throughout the U.S. and beyond. That said, our physical presence will still be remaining in Austin, and we'll be securing a new office space here. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Is the game heading into maintenance mode? Absolutely not. As I've said before, we're working on future plans, including more story and modernization initiatives for the game. We've upgraded the game to 64-bit and are working on moving the servers to the cloud, and there are more content and tech updates on the way. Moving to a third-party... Yeah, exactly. Moving to a third-party studio would allow us a lot of creative freedom, and we're very much looking forward to the opportunities that will be open to us. And what's going to happen to my account or my cartel coins? Nothing will change on this front. Everything will remain the same with your in-game accounts and any purchases you made. What does EA remaining the publisher on record mean for the game? Similar to what we've said a few times, it means nothing changes. The SWTOR team continues to be in control of the development and direction of the game, with EA providing publishing and player support. So there's the other kind of like confirmation that they're doing player support. What will happen to moving servers to the cloud? That is still happening. We will have to reassess timelines, but we have every intention of moving forward with migrating our servers over to the cloud. We're continuing with our evaluation regarding the APAC server as well.
Cool.
To close, I know that when something like this happens, it can bring on feelings of doom and gloom. This isn't the beginning of the end. This is truly a new beginning for us. As you can imagine, there are quite a few moving parts right now. We have a lot to talk about in the future. You can expect 7.3.1 towards the end of the summer. So that's good. We now have a general timeline for that. So a couple months, basically, with the story continuing on in 7.4 on its heels as we enter the holidays. So sometime in the holiday season, okay? So October, November, December, probably November, December, but whatever. Also on the tech side, we're looking at further updates such as improved integrations with Steam and updating DirectX 12. There we go. So that's cool because it's used a very old version of DirectX for a long time now. We've talked about it once in a while when weird bugs come up and stuff like that. Because it's just very old. I think they were using DirectX 9 or something like that. It's very, very old. We'll start talking about all of this and more in the coming weeks. I can't wait to hear about that.
I can't wait. Yeah. Yes. I'm excited about it. I think I'm really looking forward to this.
Yep. And that's basically it. In the meantime, 7.3 is live, and I'll be right there with all of you going through the new story and the flashpoint on all my characters, Keith. And then there we go. So, all right. So that's basically like all we know. It confirmed a lot of what we were talking about on the last show, and we still, I'm going to assume that they're basically over there now, because why would it say Broadsword on the official forums if they weren't pretty much over, pretty much done anyway? Yeah. And like I said, really the actual switchover date doesn't matter from our point of view at all. It's important to them as employees, but it's not to us. It should not matter at all if they're doing it right. And I haven't noticed a single issue with the game at all. So. Nope. And Jesse Reed is a SWTOR dev, and he worked on the forums to get everything so that it works with Broadsword. And since he's mentioned that, kind of like another hint that the Broadsword stuff is pretty much right now. All right, there actually, since last show, we've had two different updates, 7.3b and 7.3c. They're basically bug fixes. Couple of the important ones. 7.3b was important because like some people were getting stuck on the Voss storyline. They were having troubles because there was a bug where some people weren't able to continue through it. So that has been fixed. Some of the Voss armor set visuals have been fixed, as well as some other stuff. Let's see. Taxes on consumable stims, medpacks, and grenades were removed as originally intended. So if you're doing that sort of thing, it should not cause an issue. You shouldn't be charged for those sorts of things. We've updated values of some items to be more in line with current inflation. This is largely centered around crafting materials and some cartel market items that were being improperly taxed due to their low market value. And 7.3c was strictly bug fixes, not even anything about the economy or anything. Players who could not progress old wounds due to resetting the mission after completing task for Voss Restoration Initiative, or who have experienced an automatic mission reset, will now be able to progress as intended. Credits being displayed in received mail and COD owed, cash on delivery owed, will now be displayed correctly if the number is over 9 digits. Sending all credits from one character to another inside the same legacy will no longer have the 8% tax display. Characters within the same legacy should now be allowed to send all available credits minus the mail fee. When players reply to a mail from a character within the same legacy and send credits or items, the displayed fee amount will now be correct. So many details.
I know.
I do not. I don't envy the details.
I can't imagine what that code looks like.
all the
variables.
The variables. Oh my God, the variables. That's the word for it. Because not only do you have to think about every time, every way you can change stuff to another character, but now, like if you send mail to one character and then they reply, the reply has to work correctly as well, and you have to remember. All Voss armor sets should now match their respective icons and have the correct materials. And the welcome window no longer empty space at the bottom, which is funny. All right, so basically bug fixes. Right. There's been one thing that for some people with Windows who are running Windows 11, there's a compatibility issue. And the workaround was to force the game to run in Windows Compatibility 8 mode, but then the swap wasn't sticking. Like you could use it once, and then the next time you ran it wouldn't work, and then it turns out you have to force the compatibility to change again. So if you're having an issue where it says you're unable to close a recent update message and then press play at launcher, then this might be the compatibility issue. So what you need to do is you get the Windows 11 to force compatibility with Windows 8, then you should be able to run it. Some people are having those issues, but then, like I said, it is not quote-unquote sticking. Like it's only working once, and then the next time they run the game, it's back to the compatibility issue. It's not remembering that you want it to be compatibility 8. There's a workaround for this, and they're trying to make sure it seems to be working, so we'll go ahead and talk about it. Basically, you basically force the compatibility change after you've opened the launcher. So like people were doing it just the way you normally would do it, just do it anytime. But now apparently if you open the launcher first, then set the compatibility mode on the browser, close the launcher, and then open it again, and then hopefully it will stick at that point. So there you go.
It reminds me of old MMO gaming where there was all these weird little bugs and you're like, oh no, your character has to dismount, sit down, stand up, and then mount again, and then it'll work.
Right. And Slide 49 says, I know Sorter elicited a lot of people booting Broadsword. Was there anyone from operations? I recognize the days of them making master mode ops may be over, but is there a hint as to whether ops are part of the future beyond the core story? I would say yes. It's hard to know exactly. I didn't see anything specifically that said operations, but the gameplay design director and the encounter designer are both coming over. So and then plus an unknown amount of other people. So I would say with the encounter designer especially coming over, it's probably a good sign. Because, they might just need it for flashpoints, but, hopefully they would do operations as well. Not really confirmed. Yeah, exactly. Slide 49, fingers crossed. It's not confirmed, but it seems like, operations are still in the future. Let's hope. It's something that we should ask when we get a chance to.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But,
hopefully now that the transition seems to be happening, it seems to have happened, however you want to phrase that, sooner rather than later there'll be a chance for the devs to reach out. Maybe they'll do a dev stream, or maybe they'll be able to answer questions in some other way and be able to answer questions like those. So yeah, looks good because of some of the people we saw come over, but it would be nice to have a better confirmation than that. And anything else, Kitty?
Nope.
All right,
that's it. We
should give out another code then.
Let's do it. I already
give
rolled.
out another jetpack code. Okay, who's getting code numero dos?
It is Ayakai 500.
Okay. Ayakai 500. Whoop. All right, and let me go ahead and get this. Congratulations, Ayakai.
Congrats.
And let me, yay me. Let me do the whisper here. There you go. Got the code sent off. And yeah, it's a nice jetpack. We do have a couple more codes, so we'll probably do some in the next show as well. So if you if you don't have that jetpack and you're hoping to get it, we've got a couple more codes, and then we'll try to send those out next time, and we'll go from there. And that's a show. If you'd like to play with us in the Utini Knights Guild on the Republic side of the Satil Shan server, or in our
Utini Rage
Guild on the Empire side, do a /C join Utini to join the Utini channel, then let us know you're a fan of the show. You can email questions and comments about the show to OotiniCast@gmail.com, follow us on Twitter using @OotiniCast, or Mastodon @OotiniCast@mastodon.world. You can find contact details for us on our website, OotiniCast.com, which includes how to subscribe using iTunes, Stitcher, and the rest. We record the show live bi-weekly on Wednesdays, 4 p.m. Pacific, by streaming twitch.tv/OotiniCast. Our theme song is Doomsday by Jean-Paul Zogby. And thank you to the chat room.
Thank you, Chad. Thanks for being here.
And we'll see you next show. All right. And let's see. We're going to do a raid as we often do. And yeah, do you have someone? Let me get over to where I can actually do the raid. That's it.
Camrycon. Oh, we got him last time? Yeah. Camrycon's good.
Okay. It shows it on the list here. So let's go say hi to Camrycon. Thank you for coming, everyone. And yeah.
Bye, everybody. Have a good 2 weeks.
Okay, here we go. There we go. All right, we've rated. I'm stopping the stream.